Gonna do a quick overview here of the new Sigelei telescope with the side button. Alright, so while we got this open, I'm just gonna show you this. There's some brass down in there. Okay, and it looks like the pin for the switch is also brass. Okay, and these are just the regular tubes. This here is the positive post, which, as you can see, hopefully it is beveled. What that basically does, sorry I'm shaky a little bit, what that basically does is it gives you more of a contact area for the China-made Genesis atomizer, something like the Chid that was really bad with that, where the positive pin on the atomizer itself was flat or actually recessed in there. So it is a nice thick pin, however it is about a third reduced, probably 5 millimeters up from the very tip of it. So it's still going to remain a solid pin, and it's nice and flat at the top, so nothing's going to wobble too much on there. But the most important part is that when you get this, it's ready to go. You don't have to worry about adjusting any pins. You don't have to worry about pulling a pin. You don't have to worry about putting an O-ring underneath your atomizer to raise the pin on it. Okay, and that's pressed in with some plastic there. Really solid. It's not moving anywhere. So this is all stainless steel too, by the way, if you can't tell. I'm going to go ahead and put this thing back together and show you guys what it vapes like. I'm going to use an MNKE battery. The threads are all really nice. You can put a kick in here because you get a half an inch before you start to see the threads. So you got plenty of adjustability. Look at me, I'm putting the damn thing together with no battery in it. Okay, so here's your venting. I want to put the battery in there first to show you that, so it's nice and easy to see. There's 3 of them. Okay, so it looks pretty nice that way. Okay, why are you not going down in there? Okay, doesn't want to go in that way. Doesn't want to go past the positive, putting it in that way. Thought I was getting away with something. Okay, so as you can see, this thing's got a lot of adjustability. A lot of room in there for a kick. I don't know why you would need a kick, but to each his own. I know everybody always asks that. So there's the kick. Good thing about this is not the play in there, because it does have play like all telescopes do. That's just the inherent issue of the threads only being in one place of this. Otherwise, if it had threads all the way up with a large battery in there, it would look like crap. So there's no really getting around that. However, they have done a good job of fixing that on this, and let me show you why. If you're worried about switch arrangement compared to the intake hole on the atomizer, that is fixed, but you will still get your loose connection here, okay, between the tubes, which doesn't affect the way that it works, but some people it might be annoying. But with the switch arrangement there, I find that you don't really put your hand on both of these, which with the other telescopes in 18350 mode especially, you get this nice wobble like you're breaking a stick with your hand, you know what I mean? It just kind of gives enough to where it's annoying, but with this one it's not all that bad. But let me just go ahead and show you guys this. There's my intake hole, and I'm going to put the switch 180 degrees off. Going to take a quick vape, then I'm going to go ahead and tighten it 360 degrees. Okay, what does that tell you? That tells you that if you don't mind that little bit of play, which you can get more out if you tighten it up a little bit more, okay, so I'll go one whole turn past fully tightened. Still get that wobble though. Okay, but here's where you can take the wobble out. You can tighten this thing all the way down. It's not firing. Okay, no worries there. It doesn't get warm, so there's no drainage going on with the battery. But you can tighten it down and you don't get that wobble anymore, okay? It's not solid like a steel rod per se. There is still a little bit of movement in there, but it does greatly reduce it. So the only problem with that is the switch placement is going to be dependent, you know, on the intake hole if you do it that way. But you don't have to do it that way, okay? All right, so just so I'm getting this correctly, on my left hand it works just fine on this particular setup. The intake hole is right here. That would be comfortable. Okay, so now let me go ahead and do a couple of good pulls on this. This thing does have a lot of the connections are good and solid on this. The conductivity is great. I believe this is right there in the running with my Precise. Okay, I actually sold my Precise yesterday because this is all I really need. I mean, it vates really well. Okay. Alright, now the switch does have a lock on it, and it is knurled. It's a knurled ring, and it doesn't take much to get it out there. Really nice quality threads on this. Okay, so you can lock and unlock it in no time at all if you wanted to. Okay, but the only negative that I see so far on this, besides that little bit of movement, which you can't get away from no matter what on the telescope, is the fact that the switch does seem a little bit harder than it probably should be. Now, anything with a lock, in my opinion, should not have a hard spring, okay? Because you can lock that thing up and it won't do nothing. Okay, so I would rather have an easier throw on the switch. Okay, so that's the only real negative. But just the fact that it's definitely a lot more comfortable than a bottom switch for me in general, that doesn't really take anything away from it. But I want to do a complete overview of this product so that everybody knows what they're getting into if they're going to get one. Thanks for watching.